Хейтерам, которых всегда постоянно все не устраивает. Выиграл плохо, проиграл плохо.
I came across a very interesting clip of Vitaly Laletin from a podcast here. Doesn't have too many views from 2 days ago, so there's a lot of interesting clips and things he's talking about in here. But I want to share this part where he's talking about losses and how he reacts to them and just his motivation in general. This guy is asking him, to what extent is support from loved ones important in general?
Никак не действует, у меня все в моей голове. С поражением.
He says it doesn't really affect him at all.
Помогает справиться только хорошие, качественные тренировки, меньше лени. И только это помогает справляться, на самом деле.
The only thing that can help him come back from a loss is just good training that helps him cope and it helps him with motivation. So, I mean, if we look at his recent matches, and his last loss was against Hermes Gasparini in December of 2023, unless I'm missing one, but I'm pretty sure that was his last loss. Obviously, he got the revenge against Dave Chafee and got the win in the first match against Dave Chafee. He lost. He beat Camille on the left. He beat Morozov on the right, then he beat Zaranov on the right, then he beat Morozov on the left in the match of the year from last year, if you guys remember. Then he just defeated 3 North Americans in a row, Michael Todd, Jerry Cadaret, and Devin on the left arm. So it's been since 2023 since he's lost, and I'm assuming he wants a rematch with Hermes. I'm sure he's motivated, and also to face Levon, because after that match, he's just been on a rampage 2024 and 2025.
Поражение – это очень большая мотивация, особенно когда ты долгое время не проигрываешь, там какой-нибудь проигрываешь, печально, обидно. Но проигрыш быстро забывается людьми, так же, как и выигрыш. Стоит только раз проиграть, все, ты плохой спортсмен, ты плохой человек.
That's so true. I mean, he's basically saying how, when somebody loses, oh, they're a terrible athlete, blah, blah, blah. People tend to overreact to stuff, and then they get a win, and next thing you know, like, the momentum changes so quickly in the rankings and the thoughts of fans. So definitely agree with that analysis.
Только выиграть, ты уже хороший спортсмен, хороший человек, уже проигрыш забыл. То есть все варьируется. Но опять же, постоянно выигрывать тоже не очень хорошо.
Yeah, if you're always winning, you won't have the motivation to look at your weak points objectively and to improve. I think that's for sure. And we're going to see. One of these guys has to lose, Vitaly or Devin. It's got to be one of them.
Что делать? Сидеть?
Просто в юношестве, вот вы рассказали в начале, то, что вы 2 раза проиграли и думали бросить.
Да.
Вот. А вот сейчас, если вы бы проиграли, да?
Yeah, imagine if Vitaly quit, I don't know, 10 years ago or whenever. He said at certain moments he felt like quitting a couple times, as this guy mentioned.
Все-таки вы после того, как ушли с основной работы, вы всегда выигрываете.
Да.
Или вы даже в голове не рассматриваете то, что вы
здесь ничего такого страшного нет. Это жизнь. Сегодня выиграешь, завтра проиграешь. Тут я и так уже доказал всему миру, что я могу. Кому тут еще доказывать? И хейтерам, которых всегда постоянно все не устраивает. Выиграл плохо, проиграл плохо. Им без разницы вообще. Они хотят, чтобы я проиграл, многие. Что когда я говорю, выигрываешь слишком часто, людям тоже не нравится.
Думаете, что против вас кто-то болеет и хочет, в целом?
Абсолютно так и есть. Чтобы понимали, даже ребята с Грузии пишут, желают мне удачи против Ливана. Потому что Ливан...
Even the guys from Georgia tell Vitaly good luck against Ливан. That's funny, but I mean... Yeah, when somebody's been at the top for so long, sometimes people will root for the underdog just to see if they can do anything, of course, in that situation.
Долго всех выигрывает, и он бесит людей. Я не знаю, почему.
He annoys people with how good he is.
Все устроено, должны, наоборот, люди восхищаться. Они ждут, не дождутся, пока его выиграют.
Он скорее, мне кажется, не то, что бесит людей, а просто есть такая аура непобедимости, и все, болеют не за фаворита, а мне кажется, все болеют, когда человек постоянно побеждает, все хотят увидеть, сможет ли его кто-то сместить или нет.
Да, им интересно.
100% Levon has the aura of invincibility, and people just want to see if anybody can do anything. I mean, how long is this guy going to be at the top is the question. And that's why it's interesting to see guys like Brian Shaw come in the sport. Obviously, that's going to take years for him to get to a higher level. I thought this podcast here was very interesting as well with Brian and Brandon Allen. They're talking a little bit here about how improving of technique will come with time for Brian Shaw.
Because it's her identifying weak points and improve them. But I don't know if Leonidas will kind of be as tricky, and you know what I mean. I think he might be just more brunt and just kind of go.
Sure.
Which favors you, in my opinion. You would do better against guys that are stronger and less technical.
Sure.
Than like a super technical.
As I'm trying to build up the technical side, right?
Like that's, and it just takes years, of practice.
Yeah, in this podcast, we're also talking about how just hater comments in general. Like you got people saying Brian looks robotic. He looks like he is not fluent on the table, this and that. And Brian kind of acknowledges that it can't always be all positive without the haters. That kind of can be fuel for him as well to prove them wrong or to, work his hardest in the preparation. So
like we said with the deadlift, like when you first start, you have to think of all these little things that you have to do. Totally. And then once you get 10,000 plus, top singles in, you don't need to think about that anymore. You just go balls to the wall.
Yep.
And you'll get to that point in arm wrestling where you don't need a cornerman. You don't need someone telling you, like, I don't have a plan. I'm going to get on the table and feel what he's doing, and I'm going to do what I know.
Brian needs to get that intuition of just the experience, more than anything, for the technicality of gripping up and knowing which angles he wants to hit and just feeling more comfortable. That can only come with time and practice on the table, of course. Now, we are basically 2 weeks out from this event. Brian Shaw and Devin Larratt, they're at some event in Canada right now, so maybe we will see some training between them. But guys, make sure to buy the pay-per-view. Use code TOM. 2 weeks away. This is coming really soon, guys. Let me know what you thought about Vitaly's comments there. I'll put the link in the description to both of those podcasts there. Some interesting arm wrestling related stuff was in there. So hit like, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.